In a symbolic gesture, this is what the Phoenix Consortium paid BMW for Rover. Yes, a tenner, a crisp tenner, 10 of your English pounds. Ford, on the other hand, paid £1.8 billion for Land Rover. Who would have thought one word would make such a big difference? Absolutely shocking, the price of land these days, isn't it?
Yes, the bigwigs at the Blue Oval were absolutely delighted to spirit such a well-known brand away from BMW. But Ford got a company in serious disarray. Land Rover was a mess, and getting it shipshape again was going to cost much more than they'd bargained on. Take the Range Rover, the off-road king, but bedeviled by reliability problems, and discoveries weren't much better either.
While the Freelander has enjoyed a topsy-turvy existence since it first appeared in 1997. Topsy, because it very quickly went on to become Europe's best-selling sport utility vehicle. Turvy, because sources within Land Rover claimed there were 134 separate build quality and reliability problems. These included faulty gearboxes and a flexing body shell. Of course, the tragedy is that Land Rovers are very impressive when they're working properly. So, will the steadying hand of Ford improve matters? Only time will tell. But 6 months after the deal was done, the first clues are just in. The Freelander Turbo Diesel and the V6.
Contain your excitement, if you can. I know they look just like the current Freelander, but there's much more to them than meets the eye, thank goodness. Or else neither you nor I would be hanging around here for very long, would we? Anyway, the V6 sees the Freelander move upmarket to woo fat American buyers and snobby Japanese ones. So it gets an auto gearbox, heated leather seats, cruise control and parking radar. Well, what self-respecting off-roader can survive without these things?
None. But far more important than all the tinsel and the toys, the Freelander now has a heavily revised front end, which makes it much stronger and therefore far better to have an accident in. The brakes and the suspension have also been upgraded. There's a revised air conditioning system and a far more sophisticated wiring setup. No, come on, don't be like that. This is all very important stuff, you know.
Because if Land Rover is going to survive, day-to-day ease of use has to improve. Well, we'll see about that, won't we? But is there any day-to-day driving enjoyment?
Yeah, the Freelander has always been one of the best so-called soft-roaders. And with this 177 bhp V6 engine fitted, it's now got some real welly to it as well. I'm not so sure about this Steptronic transmission business though, so you can feel like Michael Schumacher as you drive across Silverstone rather than round it, I suppose. But otherwise, well, it handles and rides exceptionally well, it really does.
But is anything going to fall off it on the way home from the Land Rover dealership? Less stuff than would have been the case a few years ago. Sure, the door is still shut with a tinny clang, but the rest of it feels pretty solid. Once upon a time, you could have sailed a large battleship through the panel gaps in a Land Rover. Not anymore. BMW's clever 2-litre turbo diesel has also found its way into the amphibious-looking Freelander, to the obvious benefit of fuel economy. It'll average 15 miles per gallon more, although it's not far off the V6 for sheer pace. It also cruises very comfortably at motorway speeds. So, on road, things are looking up. And off? Well, they've ironed out the problems with the flexing body shell. It might also amuse you to learn that some early Freelanders had a glitch that left them with drive to the front wheels only. Equally amusing is that many owners simply didn't notice. Well, you wouldn't in Hampstead. With all four wheels doing their thing properly, the Freelander remains shockingly competent off-road. Ground clearance is good, traction plentiful. And remember, that more robust wiring means that Land Rover's clever hill descent control system should work more reliably now.
Land Rover might not be making all that much of a song and dance about these new Freelanders, but both the V6 and the turbo diesel are very impressive. They add a vital extra dimension to the range, but more significantly than that, they offer proof that the problem child might finally be growing up. And remember, the last time Ford bailed out an ailing British marque, it was the seriously dysfunctional Jaguar back in 1989. And it's not doing too bad for itself these days, is it?